Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're wading into the messy, often frustrating, but absolutely critical world of software bugs.
Bane of every developer's existence.
Totally. And I don't mean the kind you squash with a shoe, though, honestly. Sometimes you might wish you could. We're talking about the kind that can sink a project.
Or cost millions.
Exactly. We are looking specifically at the Lab 3 notes for the CS326 software engineering course, and we've got the syllabus here just for some, background context.
Right. And it's funny, people think coding is all about writing new lines of code.
Yeah.
But the real engineering, it's figuring out why the old lines aren't doing what you thought you told them to do.
So our mission today is to unpack how a team of students, or really any software team, is supposed to track and manage these bugs using a tool called Bugzilla. And looking at these notes, it feels like a lesson in, well, bureaucracy. Is that too strong a word?
Bureaucracy is a loaded word, but yes, it's about structure. The syllabus mentions enterprise-scale applications. That's the key right there. When you're building a little calculator app, you can keep the bugs on a sticky note. But enterprise scale, you've got hundreds, maybe thousands of moving parts. Sticky notes just won't cut it. You need a system so you never lose track of a single reported issue.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because when I first saw the screenshots of Bugzilla in the notes, I thought my computer had opened a time capsule.
It does have a vintage aesthetic.
Vintage. It was built for the Netscape browser team in the late 90s. It's written in Perl, for goodness sake. In a world with Jira and Trello, why is a 2026 university course using something that looks like it runs on dial-up?
That is the question everyone asks. Why are we driving this Model T?
Yeah.
But there's a good reason. Modern tools like Jira, they smooth over the rough edges. They try to make things too easy.
And that's a bad thing.
It can be. Bugzilla. Bugzilla forces you to confront the data fields. It makes you understand the schema of a bug. It's the gold standard for a reason.
So by learning the dinosaur, you really learn how dinosaurs work.
Precisely. It teaches you prioritization, severity, how to schedule features, and how to have a threaded conversation about a defect. If you can handle Bugzilla's rigid structure, moving to a prettier tool like Jira is a piece of cake. The other way around, not so much.
So let's talk about that interface. The notes show the main screen. You're not even logged in, and it's just these big, chunky icons. File a bug, search, open a new account. It's not trying to be your friend.
No, it's a database interface. That's what it is. It's a front end for a massive database of failure. Once you log in, sure, you get user preferences and my bugs, but the power isn't in the icons. It's in the fields behind them.
Which leads us right into the first big task in the lab. It's not even coding. It's just setting up. The lab assignment 1 of 6 says every single student has to define specific saved searches.
This goes right back to that idea of information overload. In a real company, there could be thousands of active bugs. If you just click browse, you're going to drown.
So they mandate specific searches to teach them what to focus on.
Exactly. First, bugs assigned to me. That's your to-do list for the day.
Makes sense.
Second, factor bugs for the team. That gives you situational awareness. What's everyone else working on?
And the third one is all bugs for the team, open or closed. Why that one?
That's the most critical one for learning, I think. New developers, they tend to ignore closed bugs. It's fixed. Who cares, right? But you have to see the history. Has this exact bug happened before? Did we try to fix it last month and fail? That history is where you find the patterns.
And there's a weirdly specific UI requirement here. It says these saved searches must show up as a link in the footer of every page.
Oh yeah, that's about efficiency.
Yeah.
It's a lesson in setting up your workspace. You shouldn't have to click through 3 menus to see your own workload. It should be 1 click away, always.
Speaking of workspace hygiene, there's a whole section on email preferences.
This is so important. We call it alert fatigue. If you get an email every single time someone fixes a typo in a comment, you just stop reading them.
Oh, I'm so guilty of that. I have entire email folders I haven't opened in years.
We all do. And that's dangerous in development. You ignore the noise, you eventually miss the signal, like a critical bug report. Bugzilla lets you be really granular. Only email me when a bug is resolved or when priority changes or only when I'm CC'd. It keeps you informed, not annoyed.
Okay, this is where it gets really good, or at least really funny. There is a feature in here called Whining.
You're going to bring that up.
I mean, come on, Whining. It's right there in the docs. Set up Whining. What on earth is that?
It's a hilarious name for a very serious and powerful feature.
Does the software just complain at you all day?
In a way, yes. Whining is Bugzilla's term for scheduled automated reporting. It lets you run a saved search on a timer and email the results to someone.
So it's a nagging bot.
It's an automated nag, yes.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. You pick a saved search, like all critical bugs. You set a schedule every 15 minutes or every morning at 9 a.m., and you write a little note for the email.
The notes show a screen where you literally add a new event for Whining.
Think about it from a manager's perspective. You can set up a whine that says, if a bug marked as critical sits untouched for more than 4 hours, email the developer and me. It automates nagging. It makes sure things don't slip through the cracks.
That's amazing. Our tools literally have to whine at us to get work done.
It says we're human. We get distracted. The software doesn't.
Fair enough. Okay, moving on to the core workflow. This is where the rubber meets the road. The students are put into a role play. The product name is, creatively, Lab 3.
Very creative.
And the roles are fixed. Team leads, testing leads, they become bug owners and QA reps.
And that's an important point. In a real shop, roles define permissions. Not everyone can do everything.
So step 1, filing the bug. Every person has to file at least one. But here's the catch. They have to make up issues.
Right, because the software they're building might not actually be broken yet. They're just learning the workflow. But there's another constraint there that's even more important.
What's that?
At least one bug has to be dependent on another bug from the same team.
Why complicate it like that?
Because it teaches them about blockages. In the real world, you can't fix the login screen if your teammate hasn't fixed the database connection yet. Forcing them to link bugs as dependent makes them track those bottlenecks. It teaches them that my work relies on your work.
Ah, okay. So the bug gets filed, then we're at triage. The team leader steps in, marks it as confirmed.
And assigns it. And notice the note. They assign it to a team member, but explicitly not the tester or QA person.
Why not?
Separation of duties. It's a core concept in quality assurance. The person who writes the code shouldn't be the person who tests the code.
Why?
Because of bias. If I write the code, I test it to prove that it works. If you test my code, you test it to prove that it breaks. You need that healthy tension.
Which brings us to my favorite part of this lab. I'm calling it the mandated failure.
This is such a great teaching tool. I love this part.
Usually you want the happy path. Fix it, done. But this lab specifically forbids that on the first try.
Correct. The developer gets the bug, changes the status to in progress, pretends to fix it, and then changes the status to resolved.
And in a normal world, that might be the end of it.
But not here. The instructions are explicit. The QA lead must determine the issue was not fixed completely.
So they have to change the status to reopened.
And boom, it bounces right back to the developer, status back to in progress.
That's kind of mean.
It's brilliant. It forces the students to experience the frustration of a rejected fix. It drills home a critical lesson. Resolved does not mean closed. Resolved just means the developer thinks they're done.
It's the classic works on my machine problem.
Exactly that. Until QA says it's fixed, it is not fixed. That cycle resolved, reopened, in progress, resolved, that's where so much time and money is spent in software development.
So after that rejection cycle, the developer fixes it for real this time, sets it back to resolved.
And finally, the QA contact verifies the fix. They're the one who gets to set the status to verified. That's the real finish line.
But there's a golden rule here, written in the notes, that applies to every single one of those steps.
For each update to Bugzilla, the comment field must be updated with details.
No silent status changes.
Never. If you change a status, you have to say what you did and why. If you just change a drop-down menu from in progress to resolved with no comment, you're destroying the project's history.
And that ties back to what you said earlier about finding patterns.
Yes, exactly. The comments are the data. If you have detailed comments, a manager can look back and say, hey, we've had 50 bugs related to SQL queries this month, and the comments show we keep making the same syntax error. That tells you something.
It tells you the team needs a workshop on SQL.
Exactly. But if the comments just say fixed, you learn nothing. You lose the pattern. You lose the chance to improve the team, not just the code.
The notes also put a ton of weight on the team leader's shoulders.
They do. It says the leaders are responsible for making sure their team follows the steps.
And if someone on their team messes up, forgets a comment, say, the team leader isn't supposed to just fix it.
No, they're instructed to put the bug back in the cycle and explain the problem to the team member.
That's tough love.
It's essential. If the team lead just cleans up everyone's administrative mistakes, the team never learns. The leader becomes a bottleneck. By sending it back, they're enforcing the standard. They're actually teaching.
There's also a note about patience. The person who reported the bug can add comments if it's taking too long.
But they are forbidden from changing the status or assignee themselves. You can't just grab a bug back because you're impatient. You have to trust the process. That's a hard lesson for a lot of people.
I see a mention here of a permissions screen in the notes. Things like can confirm and edit bugs.
Those are the permission bits. It's just
Yeah.
the technical side of enforcing the rules we talked about. Not everyone gets the edit bugs permission. That's how you stop a junior developer from accidentally deleting the entire bug database.
Which is probably for the best.
Definitely for the best.
So, to recap the flow for anyone listening who's about to tackle this lab, you set up your searches so you don't drown in data, you file a bug, link a dependency so you understand blockages, your team lead confirms and assigns it, you fake a fix, you get rejected by QA,
To learn humility and process.
and then you fix it for real, you get verified, and you comment on every single step so the team can learn from what happened.
That's the sad path to success.
I love that. The sad path to success.
It's where the resilience is built.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought. We joked about the whining feature, but think about what that implies. We have built systems that are so complex and so data-rich that we can't trust our own human brains to pay attention to them properly. We have to program the machine to yell at us.
It really raises an interesting question. Are we managing the software, or is the software now managing us?
Deep thoughts. And speaking of deadlines, if you are in the class, this lab is due by the end of the day on Monday, February 9th, so don't let the whining feature be the only thing that reminds you to turn it in.
Indeed. Get those saved searches set up early.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.
Looking forward to it.